Fairbank together with my colleagues Beckam Verdín, Miguel Mariscal, Ruben Padilla, and Esquivias, we will present you a kite freaking historical event known both for its complexity and for its unknowns, its battles, among others. What historical event am I talking about? How can it be otherwise? Today we will talk about the American Revolution. We'll each partner will present a subtopic about the American Revolution and we'll talk briefly about it.
What was the American Revolution? The American Revolution, also called the USA War of Independence, was the insurrection fought between 1775 and 1783, through which 13 of Great Britain's North American colonies, trio of British rules to establish the sovereign United States of America, founded with the Declaration of Independence in 1776. British attempts to assert greater control over colonial affairs after a long period of salutary neglect, including the imposition of unpopular taxes, had contributed to growing estrangement between the crown and a large and influential segment of colonists who ultimately saw armed rebellion as their only recourse.
On the ground, 15 in the American Revolution began with skirmish between British Regular and American Provincial on April 19, 1775. 30 elections were averaged for of 700 faced 77 local Minutemen, and then at Concord, we are America count for 320 to 400, sending the British scurrying. British had come to the Concord to seize the military stores of the colony, who had been forward on the right through efficient lines of communication, including the Raid of Paul Revere, which is celebrated with poetic license in the Longfellow Paul Revere's Raid.
What were the major causes of the American Revolution? The American Revolution was principally caused by colonial oppositions to British attempts to impose greater control over the colonies and to make them repay the crown for its defense of them during the French and Indian War of 1754-63. Britain did his principal work by imposing a series of deadly unpopular laws and taxes, including the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, and the so-called Intolerable Act.
Which countries fought on the side of the colonies during the American Revolution? Until early in 1778, the American Revolution was a civil war within the British Empire, but it became an international war as France 1778 and Spain 1779 joined the colonies against Britain. The Netherlands, which was engaged in its own war, Britain, provided financial support for the Americans as well as official recognition of their independence. The French Navy in particular played a key role in bringing about the British surrender at Yorktown, which effectively ended the war.
In the earliest stage of the Revolution by the American colonies, most of the still saw the settlements as English subjects were being denying their reigns as such. Citations without representation is turning this or this represent say in progress of the lack of colonial representations in Parliament. What made the American Revolution look most like a civil war, though, was the reality that about one third of the colonies now, as localist authorities continued to support and fought on the side in the crown.
The American Revolution freed colonists from British rule and offered the first blow in what historians have called the Age of Democratic Revolution. The American Revolution was a global event. Revolution followed in France, then Haiti, and then South America. The American Revolution, meanwhile, wrought significant changes to the British Empire. Many British historians even use the Revolution as a division point between a first British Empire and a second British Empire, but the Revolution created the United States of America.